Imagine this for a moment. A missile launches somewhere in the Middle East. Within seconds, American radar systems detect it. Computers instantly begin calculating its speed, trajectory, and possible impact point. Interceptor missiles prepare to launch. Everything is operating exactly the way it was designed. But then something unexpected happens. At a certain altitude, the missile suddenly opens, and instead of continuing toward its target as a single weapon, it splits apart, not into two pieces, not even 10, but potentially dozens, maybe hundreds of separate warheads, spreading across the sky. In just a few seconds, what started as one threat suddenly becomes a swarm of threats, and every one of those warheads may need its own interceptor to stop it. In other words, a single missile can turn into hundreds of defensive problems at once. And that is exactly the kind of scenario modern missile defense systems were never truly designed to handle. Welcome back to War and Wealth. Before we dive deeper into this topic, and why some analysts believe this technology could reshape modern warfare, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications, because the military developments happening today could define global security for years to come. Now, to understand why this concept is so disruptive, we first need to understand how missile defense systems actually work. Systems like Patriot, THAAD, and Aegis are designed to detect incoming ballistic missiles using powerful radar networks. Once a missile is detected, the system calculates where it will be and launches interceptor missiles to collide with it in mid-air. These interceptors are extremely advanced and extremely expensive. A single interceptor missile can cost several $1 million, but for protecting military bases or major cities, that cost has generally been considered acceptable. The key assumption behind these systems is simple: one incoming missile equals one target. But cluster submunition missiles change that equation entirely. Instead of carrying one large warhead, these missiles carry a payload of many smaller submunitions. At a specific point during flight, often during the descent phase, the missile opens and releases these smaller warheads across a wide area. Think of it like a massive shotgun blast in the sky. Each submunition spreads out and falls toward different targets. Suddenly, radar systems are no longer tracking one object. They're tracking a cloud of objects, and that creates a huge challenge, because defensive systems must now track, prioritize, and intercept many targets simultaneously, often moving at extremely high speeds. The math quickly becomes overwhelming. Imagine a missile that releases 100 submunitions. Military doctrine often recommends launching 2 interceptors per incoming threat to ensure a high probability of success. That means stopping one missile might require 200 interceptor missiles, but many defensive batteries simply don't carry that many interceptors ready to fire. In some cases, a single defense system may only have a few dozen ready missiles available, so even if the system works perfectly, it could still run out of interceptors before stopping all incoming threats. And this is where the economic side of the equation becomes especially interesting. A ballistic missile equipped with submunitions might cost a few $1 million to produce, but intercepting every warhead could require hundreds of millions of dollars worth of defensive missiles. Military strategists call this an unfavorable cost-exchange ratio, when defending becomes far more expensive than attacking. It's a strategy designed to overwhelm defenses, not just physically, but economically. To be clear, the idea of multiple warheads is not new. During the Cold War, nuclear missiles used MIRV technology, which allowed a single missile to deploy several nuclear warheads targeting different locations. Cluster munitions themselves have existed since World War II. What's different today is the combination of conventional missiles, smaller guidance systems, and widely available technology that can make similar concepts accessible to more countries. As guidance electronics become smaller and cheaper, it becomes easier to design weapons that split into many independent payloads, and that creates serious challenges for missile defense planners, because radar systems, interceptor launchers, and targeting computers all have limits. They can only track so many objects at once. They can only launch interceptors so quickly, and when dozens or hundreds of targets suddenly appear, the entire defensive network can become saturated. Another complication is the area effect. Instead of one warhead hitting one specific location, submunitions can spread across a wide area, potentially striking runways, fuel depots, command centers, and equipment all at the same time. Even if defensive systems intercept most of them, a few that slip through could still cause major damage. That possibility forces military planners to rethink how bases and infrastructure are protected. And it's not just one region of the world that is paying attention to this. Countries across the globe are studying how saturation attacks might challenge modern defense systems. The reality is that offensive technology often evolves faster than defensive systems. Building new defenses can take years of research, testing, and deployment. Meanwhile, adapting existing missile designs to carry multiple payloads may require far less time. That creates a difficult window where the threat evolves faster than the protection. To counter these challenges, defense researchers are exploring new ideas. Some concepts involve directed energy weapons, such as high-power lasers, that could potentially engage many targets quickly without using expensive interceptor missiles. Other proposals include hypervelocity projectiles or advanced electronic warfare systems that could disrupt guidance systems before the submunitions reach their targets. But most of these technologies are still in development, and developing, testing, and deploying them on a large scale could take many years. In the meantime, military planners around the world are reassessing their strategies, because if a single missile can create hundreds of threats in the sky, defending against it becomes far more complex than simply launching another missile. It becomes a battle of technology, economics, and strategy all at once. And as these technologies continue to evolve, they may reshape how countries think about missile defense, deterrence, and military security in the future. This is exactly why developments like this deserve attention before they become front-page headlines. Because by the time the public hears about them during a crisis, the technology has often been evolving for years. If you found this breakdown helpful, make sure to like the video and share it with someone interested in military technology and global strategy. And let me know in the comments, do you think future defenses will be able to keep up with these kinds of threats, or are we entering a new era where offense has the advantage again? Subscribe for more deep dives into global military technology and strategy.